Now we're here. All right. So yeah, welcome back to the channel. I am your girl Molinda Jae, and I'm here to talk about, you already know, Belle Collective season 2 reunion part 2. So let's go ahead and get into it. We start back off with the reunion of the DNA test of whether this alleged child that is Glenn's. And to make a long story short, the baby is not his, and which is a very big relief to Letitia, because of course no woman wants to endure that type of em- embarrassment and humiliation at its finest, when you have to literally find out the child's father by DNA test, due to some decisions that was made along the way that could have led to a detrimental circumstance. So of course, again, Glenn is not the father, and we just I just I'm speaking for myself now. I just hope now that the child is not his, that they will work together in regards to restoring what was broken, and for him to also continue on with counseling on an individual basis to, restore whatever was broken on his end, build the foundation on an individual aspect, continue to build himself up as a man, and that way he can be the man that Letitia wants him to be, as she expressed up in the room during break. All right. So also another thing that we're recapping on this reunion was the men's fishing retreat, where they was getting together, getting to know one another. And I believe that, yes, this was done by JJ. And Willie, bless his heart, bless his heart. Like, he was really trying to figure out the lingo, the southern lingo of how people were holding the conversation, how the other men was holding the conversation with each other, because he stated himself he literally felt like a fish out of water, like he was on a whole nother universe, because of how, JJ was explaining some situation, and how Glenn was explaining his situation, pouring his heart out to all the guys and getting their opinions and thoughts of the situation that he is going through with Letitia. And and Willie was just like, I'm here. I'm just here. I'm just here trying to grasp what is going on, because, as stated before, he's a city boy, city country boy, that was born and raised in the north, and he come down to the south, where it's slow motion and people are more willing to hold a conversation more, want to pick your brain a little bit. That's how we do in the southern. We just like to, that's a part of that southern hospitality. We like to, I'm pretty sure the lingo in New York, or the direction of the conversation in the northern parts, is like, hey, how you, or hi and bye, or just a quick little conversation like, hey, how you doing, and that's it. Compared to the southern portion, we're like, hey, how you doing, how's your mom, how's your dad, how's the kids, what you up to, the list goes on. That's how we do in the southern parts. All right, that's that southern charm that we have. And then they also discuss, let's see, Cliff having a sexual relationship with JJ's ex Selena. I'm assuming that's whom they are talking about. And Cliff, confirmed it. Yes, he was awake, he was sober, and that this was way before Latrice. Okay, way, way back in the day, when I was young, not a kid anymore, type of thing. That they mingled amongst each other, and I was like, okay, Cliff, okay. So that was it on that, as far as like the men recapping on their adventure. And then they move on to Tamara, Damon, aka Greedy, and Tisha. I mean, excuse me, not Tisha, Taisha, as Tambra would say, the decorator. Yeah, okay. Light shade. But yes, the questions that was recapped on when it came to Tambra and her relationship with Damon was that, of course, they were like, I believe they were high school slash college sweethearts. um Even if it was just in the midst of between him, Tamara, and Taisha, like they all, and Akeisha too, they all grew up around each other, going to the same high school and possibly college, to a certain degree. And of course, Carlos was exploring the question to what was there an emotional connection between Greedy and Taisha. And to sell everything straight, he was like, again, this is how he was, that there was nothing emotional going on. We are just friends. And that basically she was looking for a storyline, or just looking to merge herself within within the cahoots of the ladies of Bell Collective. That's ba- that's basically all in a nutshell. Now, at the same time, there was some other things that was unfolding. Like, what was the relationship with Taisha? As stated before, he was like, they're just friends. There's nothing more, nothing less. And if she was expressing those feelings now, why didn't she express those feelings back then when they was um in cahoots, or expressing the partnership amongst each other? Why now? Why not back then? Because things probably would have changed if she would have expressed her feelings then than she is now. And then also, he had also stated that, well, Carlos had asked a question, did she lie to get on the show? And Tambra had answered saying, she wants a better character witness, because of course we all know Tambra as the spunky, I call her like the black Dolly Parton of the cast, because she's petite like me, and she has big breasts like Dolly Parton does, and she has that big hair like Dolly Parton has too. And she kind of dresses like her to a certain degree. So that's why I was like, Tambra, she reminds me of the black Dolly Parton. um just bubbly personality, big hair, big boobs, petite, glammed up, everything. And then so they also went on ahead and said that she was decorating at someone else's house, that was on the cast. And that she Tambra had also stated that there was alleged that Taisha had dirt on all of the cast while she was decorating at doing decor at someone's house, whether it was an event or just regular decor in the house. And that's what led to this whole debacle of her coming to Letitia, stating that, her and Greedy had an emotional connection, that there was something more than a friendship. And then that left Letitia in a little spat, because she's friends with Tambra, and the fact that she was trying to do her best to like get to the bottom of it, because Taisha is her friend too, and she don't like to see both of the women being cahoots with each other over a man. I mean, that's just simple as that. I mean, who hasn't done that? They try to, if their friend comes to them with some information, and then another friend that is associated with them is going with the partner that the previous person is going with, and you're just trying to figure out, get to the bottom of the situation. Okay, let's be clear, in the words of AT2. Let's be clear, in the words of AT2, of what is going on with the situations between both women, and who does the man exactly want out of one or both of the women. Okay, so after that, that's when They cleared the air saying again, basically, she is just looking for attention and she's just piggybacking off Tambra and her storyline just to get on the show and yada yada yada, and that's that. So I was like, oh, okay, all right. And then that's when Carlos had asked Tambra and Greedy, do y'all live together or y'all live apart? And they both said yeah, and then and Greedy, he was like, he was like, yeah, unfortunately. And I was like, what? Excuse me? Well, what's the unfortunate part? And to go into detail with that, it's in regards to Tambra's OCD, her cleanliness. She likes to keep everything clean. Of course, whenever you're so used to being on your own as an individual, and you allow someone in your space and y'all sharing that space together trying to build a foundation, whatever case it may be, you're going to be tested. Your waters are going to get tested on who's the cleanliness, who is the dirtiest, who yeah, the toilet seat being up needs to be down, putting your underwear in the hamper, the laundry hamper, so it could get dried, so it won't get mixed with the dirty clothes and the whatever case may be. So, and he's catching it in my eyes. It seems like he's catching it with living with her. But it's in regards of, I'm assuming that he's not used to someone being in that cleanliness capacity. We can only imagine the type of clean that he tolerates, but with Tamara, it seems like he's willing to stick beside her and her OCD-ness of the cleanliness of it all, making sure everything is spick and span and not mixed in with the cleans and dirties. Looks like he's able to compromise with that, rightfully so, to a certain degree. All right, that just come with a territory when you're partnering up with somebody and you asked her, hey, now let's move in together. So it's not like she didn't force you to move in. You asked the question on whether y'all want to move in together or not. So hey, you got what you wish. You got what you asked for. And as the old saying goes, be careful what you ask for because you just might get it and then some. Now, on to the next is, as a result, another thing had unfolded was that Taisha is an ex in law of Glendale. She used to be married to Glenn's brother. So I'm like, what the heck is going on between the sheets in my home? Okay. I had a Ronald Isley effect. Like, oh my gosh. Like, that's another thing that unfolded that we was not aware of. So again, that just builds the depth of the relationship between Letitia and Taisha, because she used to be an in-law of hers. All right. But other than that, the doc Carlos had asked Tambra as well, is she having unprotected sex with Damon? And she said, as the doctor prescribed, yes. But she's still a little reluctant at the same time. But baby girl, if you want to have a baby, you got to do it unprotected. I'm sorry. You just gotta do it unprotected. Raw dog it all right? But other than that, they are still willing and able to have a baby with each other. And I wish nothing but peace, happiness, and joy to their endeavors of the exploration of having a babies. And hopefully they can, if it's in God's will, if it's in the Most High's will, they will be able to have a child. All right. So moving right along, we have a recap of Willie and Akeisha. It was like a quick, short 1-2 segment. Of Okay, that was somebody outside, y'all. Of Carlos. asking Willie, how's he getting adjusted to living in a SIP. And as stated before, within the men's discussion, when they were recapping the men's retreat and at the fishing pond, and Willie, he still feel like a little outsider to a certain degree, but however, he said he's getting adjusted a little bit more. Of course, as a New Yorker, he said he is a New Yorker at the end of the day, but he did talking about the hospitality, the Southern hospitality, compared to living up in the North, and how people will go on and on and on in the conversation in the South. Compared to the North, they probably keep it short and go about their business because it's fast paced up there. All right. So that was the little small recap of Akeisha and Willie segment. And on to the next of Latrice and Cliff recap, and how they were introduced to us in the first season of being love bugs, the power couple, the Jay-Z and Beyonce of the crew, you know what I'm saying? To now it's a little rocky. It's not, in my opinion, it's not that rocky. It's just more like um a pause, or a, how should I say it, an impasse type of thing. Like there's something blocking both of them, but at the same time, there's more than one way to get to the end of the goal. So, and this is in regards to the baby topic. And Carlos had asked Latrice and Cliff, are we going to be expecting a little Clifforella anytime soon? And Latrice, she was like, at this moment, no, because one, she just closed on her building for expansion for Goddess Link. So that's one thing. Congratulations to her. And another thing was that they mentioned that, Cliff, he mentioned that he's going to support her whenever she's ready. But as they say, time is ticking. But I do like the fact between them two that even though one wants a baby and the other one doesn't, they still manage to come together and support one another, in despite of the disagreement, because eventually I'm pretty sure they'll have a baby in the meantime. But of course, you don't want to force it on somebody. You want to let it happen naturally as possible, as well as you want to be on the same accord with your partner as well when it comes to having a baby, because there are a lot of things that come along with having a baby. That's whether you are poor or rich. There are certain capacities and situations that could come along with having the baby. Okay, so and then they also asked, Carlos also asked the question about, how does Cliff feel about Latrice's mom saying that she basically married her father. And Cliff, he didn't think nothing of it. He was more like, yeah, I could see how she said that. And and then also Latrice, I do appreciate her vulnerability in regards to this, that um she could see how she would marry her father, because she has experienced time and time again of the abandonment of a father figure, and having the tension of a father figure, which could have led her to seeking to dating older men and wanting to be in a relationship with an older man, because of the fact not only they bring the stability, but as far as like, they bring the stability to a certain degree. It just depends on the maturity of the person, individual in itself, because you do have a lot of grown men out here that still act like children. All right. But otherwise, on the flip side, if you have come across an older person, or a person that is saged and aged, then and they have the emotional maturity to where they can be able to handle situations in a logical and and emotional capacity manner, then I mean, why not? So again, like I said, Cliff didn't think nothing of it like drastically. He just accept things for what it is, and he was like, "Yeah, I can see her doing that." And then Latrice, she was more receptive as well. Like, "Yeah, I'm fully aware of why I picked Cliff and so forth and so on." So it's still a touchy subject to her, and you can tell that it's still a touchy subject to her because and I'm pretty sure she would. uh, sh- I'm pretty sure she would love to have a father figure that would be there for her and could give her the attention that she needs. But as I stated in previous videos, until she gets healing for patching up that wound and patching up that inner child of her, of the abandonment of her father or just father figure in general, because of the circumstances that have went through her lot within her life, then she'll may be more receptive to having a baby. So right now it's a no, but she it's just still things that needs to be worked out. But I do appreciate the fact that Cliff is going to support her no matter what. So I do congratulate them on that. And then that's when they went on break, and then they went to a scene where Letitia was talking to Glenn about dating now that they got the DNA test out the way. Now they can focus on reestablishing their foundation, dating each other again, building back as because you could tell Letitia wants Glenn to be the man that she wants him to be, but he's got to be willing to do that for himself. Because once you do that for yourself, and that's not even with men, but with women included, like as long as you are able to be fully authentic within yourself and know your self-worth, and be self-disciplined as well, to not fall into those traps and stick to and not letting the past define you, you can be the person that you always wanted to be, and not be the person um that you don't want to be, which is could be detrimental on a person's um ego. All right, so he's got to be willing to be the best man that he wants to be, and that can do so by some counseling and some soul searching as well, doing some self discovery, some healing, loving on himself. Men need self love too. And once he does that, he'll be the man that Letitia wants him to be. But on her end, she don't need to go in with high expectation. Expectation. She just need to allow things unfold naturally, which I'm pretty sure she's aware of, as well as being able to show compassion where it's needed. And hmm, I'm speaking from a counselor perspective. um, as well as Letitia could just still focus on herself, all right? And that way she can attract the right things that she wants to attract in her life. That's simple as that. All right. On to the next is we come back with So Gucci and JJ recap, and all the girls except for I believe Sky is not, no, except Star. I believe it's Star that is not there. Because she is in band. She's captain of the band, and she could not. When you're dealing with band at school, is like literally if it's a a death in the family emergency, then yes, they could be able to take off, but otherwise it's a no go. So they recap on the hot discussion that was made at the family meeting between the girls. And again, kudos to Soul Gucci and JJ and the girls for opening up their house to have this discussion, because I'm pretty sure this goes along with all the family of the households. And I do enjoy the factor that they have family meetings, because my family does the same thing, have family meetings on seeing where each other's head at, having a game planning on what actions that we need to take so we can accomplish our goals and achievements, and the list goes on. And so I really do appreciate that feature. And comment down below on your thoughts on this hot topic discussion in the comment section below, and whether you all have family meetings as well. And do y'all, and if y'all don't, would y'all consider having family members meetings to do a quick mental health check and pick me up type of deal? But they went on ahead and recapped it, and Carlos had asked the question of how things are going on in a relationship, and D, she related they're still a rocky. However, they're going to be more talking sessions because things don't uh, heal overnight, so it's going to take some time. And also that Sanjay, she has stated that, they're cordial, but not like all the way sisterly, sister, mother from another, lover from another mother type of deal. They're just cordial enough to have, simple conversation and keep it pushing. And then also, you know, Carlos had asked, so Gucci, does she, how does she feel about how her daughter D feels about the situation or the conversation that had happened in regards to the family meeting? And so Gucci had responded saying that to a certain degree, she said she blames herself, but because there is no rule book in parenting, and there's also no rule book when it comes to addressing the colorism, or the favoritism amongst each other in the family, and how that could um, manifest itself when they go out to the real world. And so Gucci just said straight up, she blames herself for not teaching D enough about the skin tone. And like I said, I this is why I love this show. Like, the ladies, they are giving us the things that we need. It is giving what it's supposed to give. um because even though this situation is a hot topic or a hot button to push, as I stated before in my videos, especially in my 30 lessons that I learned video, is that if we don't address what has transpired, if we don't take accountability for our actions, and if we just don't take accountability in general, and just recognize what had the shortcomings that we had, then the pattern is going to repeat itself. And then you can also be to the point where you are being open enough and flexible enough to be like, hey, I messed up. I wish I could have taught her more, or I wish I could have taught him this and this. But there are circumstances within people's lives to where they would overlook that certain scenario. And y'all, we just never know until things unfold in its own shape or form, to where we be like, oh, okay. But we got to be also willing to make adjustments so we can, you know, not only teach ourselves, well, we need to relate to our children, but also it's never too late to start over on anything. If you could catch it head on, that's good. But again, there's no rule book for parenting. But other than that, as long as we address it and come at it in another angle and see the bigger picture of it, we can get to the common goal. But that was discussed. That concluded that discussion recap when it came to So Gucci and the girls, as well as JJ. And then lastly, we come to Miss Marie Monroe, and how Carlos had asked her the question about women with light eyes can't be trusted comment. And this is in regards to, Marie saying this was basically light shade, because this was said when Akeisha was introduced to the group by Tambra. And Akeisha wanted Marie's take on this as well, on why she would say that type of thing. And then Marie was like, "Girl, this is just light shade, and to some capacity now." To Marie's, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. To Marie's defense now, she put it as, if you say no, the people with those light eyes, the hazel, the light green, the blue eyes, they just have that lure in them to where they can get you to say yes. Now, comment down below if you feeling the same way. To a certain degree, it does happen quite often. It's almost like they are um professional salesmen. Okay, because they able to, even though you said no and you was dead set at the no, they'll just be like, well, let's look at this angle and see how this goes, so to speak. So, um, overall, it was light shade, but other than that, case is closed on that one. And then that's when Carlos had asked Marie to, in regards to Marie's recap, he had asked her, how's it going between her mom and Jerez, due to the circumstances that had unfolded during the season and off camera, um, for her within her family. And she said that, she's not giving up on her mom, rightfully so, because I mean that she is her daughter at the end of the day. And as long as she has breath to breathe, there's still another chance at life. There's still another chance for her to start over again in her rehabilitation process. And again, I just send nothing but healing and love and energy to Marie and her family, and her mom as well, and protection. And then, far as Jerez is in, he is currently in South Carolina on a basketball scholarship. And I'm like, Jerez is doing a darn thing in the school. Come on now. And he is taking care of the children, rightfully so. Okay, period. That's how I love to see a season end. Okay, on a good note. On a good note. But other than that, far as like Marie's recap, it was pretty short as well, due to all the things that was happening for her. And I really appreciate her, um, and her open vulnerability as well, and just um, getting to a point where she is going to take care of herself. She's going to continue on with her businesses and take care of her family the best way, shape, or form, and not giving up when it comes to her mom. Um, even though she probably established some healthy boundaries and not being overbearing, but again, as long as you are willing and able to still breathe up on this physical realm, then that's still a chance to change your life around. But other than that, they just recapped that part two of the Bell Collective. Carlos, he went on ahead and asked the girls where are they at now in regards to what had happened after filming. Tambra, she is traveling and hosting gigs as she envisioned in the first place, because that was one of her goals from the last season, is that she wanted to expand her realm outside of the radio station. So she is doing that. Latrice, as stated before, she closed on her new building, and they got two Airbnbs up and running. Their goal is to reach 30 Airbnbs. Come on, generational wealth. Latrice, that's why I love her. And then Akeisha, she's working on Fair Street. Since it's beyond her of doing it by herself, she has formed a group to where they can be able to propose the vision and the contracts, the deals, the negotiations, the costs, and everything to the city of Jackson, so it could be up and running, so that historical road or that historical park can be revitalized and bring some business to the Jackson area. As well as, so Gucci, she said she is extending her fitness practice, and adding more courses, aerobics, and more. And then, as far as Letitia, she is like on it. She got her self help books going on, consultation. Or she's a consultant for Hamilton and Davis, and she's also dealing with assisted living and bridging the gap on rental property. She got business on top of business, just going. And I'm like, yes, this is why I love this show again, because these women, they are giving us what is supposed to be give. At the end of the day, I really truly love the women, the cast. This was a great bunch on Belle Collective. Dr. Antoinette, girl, I still love you, girl. I don't know what she's probably still in her dentry um business and doing what needs to be done on that end. But other than that, that concludes the recap of Belle Collective season 2. I thank you all for tuning in to the video. Feel free to leave a comment down below on your thoughts and opinions about the whole season in general, or this reunion recaps. I love to hear your thoughts and opinion on that. And don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done so already, and hit that notification bell so you know the next time I upload a video. And always remember to love thyself, know thyself, soothe thyself, so you can heal thyself. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.